Hello, hello, and we back, man. Come on, Trooper Talks. So today is actually a beautiful day. I ain't gonna lie, the sun is shining, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something very quick, man. Something that I personally been struggling with. I know a lot of people will be also struggling with that, and is guilt. Yes, sir. AKA shame too. They're like very close siblings. What I realize is those emotions are very, very toxic, and it's okay to feel them, but you shouldn't dwell inside them. You shouldn't like be there, you know what I mean? And sometimes, we're not perfect as humans. We all have our ups and downs, and I guess we have reasons to feel guilty about stuff. We have reason to feel shameful about stuff. I don't believe that you're only supposed to feel positive emotion in this life. You're supposed to, feel everything, the whole spectrum of emotion. And as a man, you need to, I guess, learn to control and harness those emotions. But guilt is one of those emotions that is very, very toxic because it gets you just to, first of all, it doesn't get you nowhere. It gets you just to start doubting yourself and feeling bad about yourself, right? A little bit of shame and guilt is okay because it makes you reflect about the actions that you did. But if you dwell on it, if you dwell on it and you just keep repeating in your head and your thoughts the same mistakes, it's like, oh, I failed. Oh, I did this. Oh, I'm so bad. Those are the emotions. And the way you speak to yourself too is very, very important. As a trooper, you gotta command and learn to speak yourself in a not only positive but encouraging way. You know what I mean? You gotta say, will this just think about it. Will this whether you're a girl or a guy, think about it. Is the way that I'm speaking to myself, will this be the same way I'll be speaking to my best friend or speaking to my kid? You know what I mean? Because sometimes we have a we have more love for people, you know, close to us, maybe siblings, friends, kids. For those who are kids, we might have more love for them than we have for us, And we need to start to give that love to ourselves too. Because if you think about it, right, if we don't love ourselves, then we're not even in the position to give the love to other people. It's all about, at the end of the day, you get what you have. Sometimes I remember back when I was a kid, I used to feel a bit resentful about my dad leaving and stuff like that, like not him not being there and raising me, and thinking like, damn, how will you do that if you bring a kid to this world? I always think like you have a responsibility to, of course, raise them. So I used to feel very resentful about that. And what I realized after many years of, I wouldn't say therapy, I did mostly journaling and just expressing myself in music. That is my therapy, I guess. But I realized that this guy, really didn't have enough love to give, because you only give the love that you have. So if you have a cup, right? Okay, this cup is quite empty, but let's say, for as a good example, stay hydrated. But yeah, you see this cup, right? It's almost empty. Let's say the water is love, right? If you ain't got enough water in it, how are you supposed to pour your water into other glasses? It doesn't work, you know what I mean? So that's how I see that situation there. And there's a lot of people too. It's not only like I just see liquid. A lot of people that are very like mean and like, yeah, mean spirited, or they just didn't have or don't have enough love inside them. And the answer to that is to cultivate it. You don't really need. I mean, other people facilitate that way. Like other people, if you have a friend or maybe siblings or someone that care about you, or your mom or father, anyway, that someone that cares about you, they show you how you're supposed to be loved. They show you how love is supposed to feel, right? But after, you're supposed to cultivate that feeling inside yourself with yourself. It's easier said than done because sometimes we be our harshest judges and critics because we always with ourselves 24/7. And it's good to be, I believe it's good to be strict, but it's also good to give give ourselves some grace, give ourselves some leniency, because at the end of the day, we're humans. And the key is love, you know? The key is love. Of course, you can bully yourself, do stuff for a certain period, but at the end of the day, I was literally at a graveyard yesterday, right? No one has died close to me yet, which is it's a bit crazy to say, but you know, a day's coming for everyone. So I was sitting in the graveyard. Why? Because memento mori, man. I just wanted to meditate and think about life and how precious is everything that we have. You know, we really trying to block out death most of the time. And yeah, I was sitting there for almost half an hour. It was a bit uncomfortable in the start, but afterwards, I started really like realizing that at the end of the day, man, when you leave, what really counts, what really like is gonna be the measure of your impact or what you did is like how much love were you able to give to people, how much love were you able to infuse in this world, you know? That's how people count for impact. All this, if you think about it, the most famous are the people who gave the most love, aka you could say Jesus, you could even say someone like MLK or Gandhi. All these people who are like remembered are the people usually that gave the most love. And there's also people who are remembered for the opposite reason. People gave the most, I guess, fear or evil. And they are remembered because of a survival, you know? As humans, we always have that survival instinct kicking in, you know, that we need to be aware of threats and stuff like that. So we remember stuff that is very, very bad or stuff that is very, very good, you know what I mean? And I believe as a trooper, like I said it many times, we're here to make the world better. That is my ultimate mission, you know, at the end of the day. I'm going to use my art, I'm going to use my music to make the world a better place. And by the time I leave, it's going to be better. We are not perfect. I've done mistakes. You can ask my exes. Nah, but we're not perfect, you know what I mean? And yeah, a lot of stuff happens. Recently, I just crashed me and my friend. My best friend gave me his car, right? So I was actually supposed to drive it in the day, but I had it a little bit longer, driving at night. And somehow I was a bit careless, so I crashed the car, and I was feeling very, very bad. Not because of, yeah, I mean, you know, the car, but it's also because I feel like, you know, the trust, and I just didn't like take care of the car. I wasn't responsible enough, you could say that. So I was, you know, wallowing in my guilt, in my shame. That's why I'm making this video. But then I realized at the end of the day, what has happened has happened. The milk has spilled. But I take responsibility and keep it moving, you know? That's how we move as troopers. So I want you guys also, whatever is bothering you, because like I said, we're all humans. We ain't perfect. Whatever is bothering you, make a decision today that you're going to let it go. You got to let that shame go. You got to let the guilt go. And make a decision that from today on, you're going to move different. From today on, you're going to have grit. From today on, you're going to know the right path. And try to follow it as best as you can. That's it. Step by step. Anyways, wish you guys the best. LC.